Previously on Desperate Housewives.
Hi guys, it's
Lauren Daisy.
Welcome back to my channel, and today I am starting a new version of a series that we do on this channel where I rank all the love interests from a show. And now that we've done Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars, I'm going to move on to Desperate Housewives. Now Desperate Housewives is going to work a little bit different because not everyone has lots of love interests. Like Lynette's video would literally be like 3 people. So I won't be doing videos for her. I'll be doing individual videos for Bree and Susan and maybe Edie. I haven't decided yet. Let me know if you guys want to see that in the comments. And then I will be doing my normal video where I rank every single couple. And I think there's like a good 50 or 60. So I'm excited to get to that. But because Bree does have 9, I thought we could rank hers individually. So that's what we're going to be doing today, looking at the love life of one of the most iconic characters to ever grace television, and that is Miss Bree Vanderkamp. So starting at number 9, I have George, because oh my god, this may be some of the craziest. To be fair, whenever I talk about Desperate Housewives, I'm like, this is some of the craziest TV I've ever seen. But the whole George Williams saga.
Will you marry me?
Huh? He comes into it at the end of season, no, in season 1. He is the pharmacist at, Bree's local pharmacy. Anyway, and he is basically in love with her and ends up poisoning her husband Rex by not giving him the right pills, and he ultimately dies. And then once he dies, George tries to worm his way into Bree's life, tries to marry her, move in with her, all this crazy stuff. And ultimately she finds out that he was the one that killed Rex. And so he puts on this stunt where he attempts to take his own life, thinking that Bree will come in and save him before he does. But because she knows what he did, she doesn't, and she actually just sits and waits for him to die. So, not really the makings of a great couple. Honestly, this was so insane, and I was just waiting. I was waiting for her to find out. He was, oh my god, it was crazy. When he threw a therapist off of the bridge, I mean, good lord, man. This man was down bad like I've never seen in my entire life. It was crazy. I mean, it was great TV, but it's not the makings of a good boyfriend. At number 8, I have Chuck, and honestly, I actually really liked him. I thought he was a really good match for Bree, and then things just took such a turn. They took such a turn.
I used my shirt, and I waved it so vigorously that all the buttons came off.
So initially, he was the cop and he, seemed really sweet and seemed to really like her. They then obviously have the awkwardness where he proposes or is going to propose and she basically says no, which honestly fairs because she had been through so much in terms of her love life up to this point. She'd already lost one husband. Like, she was not going to get engaged to this man after like 4 weeks. So I don't know what he was thinking. But anyway, he was all butthurt over that. And then obviously Bree goes on to cover up a murder that Chuck has to investigate. So then Chuck is kind of like out to get her basically because she rejected his proposal and is making her life miserable. So that's when his character takes a bit of a nosedive. But I actually did like them when they first got together. And I think it's a shame that it kind of turned out that way because if they had just stayed a good solid couple, I think he definitely could have been endgame for her. At number 7, I cannot remember his name right now, so I'll have to Google it, but it's Keith's dad. So when Bree is dating Keith in season 4, maybe? No, I think it's post-Time Jump. So maybe season 6. He introduces her to his dad, who has recently just gotten a divorce, or maybe was always a single dad, I can't remember. And he basically falls for Bree. This woman, she's like the Spencer Hastings of Desperate Housewives because Spencer Hastings, everyone that meets her falls in love with her in Pretty Little Liars, and Bree is the same. Like, all of these men like a moth to a flame, as they should. She's iconic. And so, yeah, he falls for her and basically tries to pursue things with her while she is still dating his son. I mean, good Lord. I feel like if you didn't have that weird element to it, now hear me out. If you didn't have that weird element to it and she had just met him separately, I mean, he seemed like a decent enough guy, I guess. I mean, aside from the fact that he's trying to get with his son's girlfriend. Maybe I should have swapped him and Chuck, actually. But Chuck was like hell-bent on destroying her life. Okay, at number 6, I have Rex. And Rex is a weird one because I feel like they were really not a good match, but also sometimes they had like little moments where I thought, oh, maybe this could actually work.
Rex cries after he ejaculates.
How she would talk about how they were, well, how they would both talk about how they were before they got married or like around, you know, when they were first married, seemed really sweet. And obviously he did end up cheating, which we do not like. And Bree also was just seemed so incapable of change in that first season. Like he was telling her what was making him unhappy and she wasn't taking any of it on board. I mean, I think Bree from season 1 to season 7 is one of the most insane character changes I've ever seen on TV. Like her character development is second to none. And at the end of season 1, whenever it is that Rex dies, I felt like we were kind of getting back there, like they were maybe going to rekindle and it was quite sweet. And then obviously he ended up dying, so I do think that's a shame because I think maybe they could have, you know, rekindled. But then he did also have a secret son, so maybe they wouldn't have. And I think there's definitely a lot. The other people are definitely a better fit for her, but I did think they did have some sweet moments, and obviously they were together for a long time. And number 5, I have Trip, and here's the thing. I don't care for this man. I don't. Obviously, he is her end game, so I put him higher up on the list, and she did, you know, seem really happy with him.
I'll get up the courage to once again ask you to go out on a date with me. Of course, even as I'm saying that, I'm still not sure what you're going to say.
That clear it up for you?
But I just feel like with Bree, she could have ended up single or with somebody else on this list because it just felt really random to introduce him at the last minute and we don't really know anything about him. And I think Bree's ending overall just isn't really my favourite. It's not how I personally would have written it for her. I mean, Trip was fine, but I feel like we just didn't really know him well enough to be like, oh, this is a good, you know, final match for Bree. At number 4, I have Peter, and hear me out, because obviously things go incredibly south with Peter in the end.
I think I should go.
Really?
Yeah.
Peter, what? But you forgot your shirt!
Keep it!
But when they first were like becoming a couple, I actually thought they had great chemistry and he was really funny and he was really sweet. And to be fair, like she wasn't a saint in that relationship either because she did kind of push him when she wasn't supposed to. And he kind of tried to set a boundary there. And obviously he was an addict, which, you know, is a disease. So I think his actions, although to the general public, obviously he, you know, shouldn't have done what he did. I think also he was, you know, struggling as well. So it's a bit of a complex issue there. But also, you know, he was manipulated by Andrew, who just wanted to get back at his mum. So it's just all very weird dynamic going on. But just specifically the relationship between Bree and Peter, I did really like when he comes and rescues her when she gets stuck in that, you know, shopping mall. And he was just very, very sweet with her. And I think it's a shame that things ended up like they did. I don't know if maybe they would have always been destined to fail, whether Andrew kind of meddled or not. But yeah, for the time we did get them together, I did think they were a good match. Now into the top 3, I think there would be quite a bit of debate about who goes where. Because I know that a lot of people really love Orson. But for me, I actually have him at number 3. I think I understand because Kyle, who played him, wanted to play a villain. So that's why they kind of changed him in the end. I think it was a shame because the Orson that we get when she just marries him and like, you know, pre kind of like time jump, that Orson, 100% him and Bree were supposed to be together forever. I absolutely loved them.
Before we do this, there's something I need to ask you.
What?
Did you kill your wife?
Prior to the time jump, I think they were just everything. They were just everything. It was so, so sweet. And he was just the perfect match for her. And then, you know, things kind of just fall apart between them. And then he goes, you know, kind of out for revenge against her, which was such a shame because I loved how they were before. And I think it kind of ruined it for me. But, you know, I did really love them when they were at their best. I really, really did. So kind of pains me to put him at number 3. But just taking into account like how south things went and how much he kind of hated her in the later seasons, I just kind of had to. And then number 2, runner-up, I have Keith. I loved Keith. Okay, I thought Keith was great. I thought he was so fun for Bree. He was such a different choice, but even though he was a bit younger than her, he was still like really kind and really committed to her and just such a sweet partner for her. And he brought out like a more fun side for her when she really needed it.
Steer manure's not your favorite aphrodisiac?
It's only slightly worse than your aftershave, which accidentally got poured down the drain.
Well, hold your breath. I'm kissing you anyway.
There is a God.
And I just loved them together, and I just thought it was so sad that they didn't even end like in this like big betrayal like most of the relationships in Desperate Housewives do. It was because he, you know, was moving away to be with his son, and it was just so like sad. Like I wish that they could have stayed together and then they could have raised his son together, because they were just, I really did love them. And then last but not least, number 1, my man, my guy, I have Karl, okay? And you might be thinking to yourself, what? Because, oh my gosh, Karl's a true menace, okay? Karl is a true menace in the purest form that you can get. But I love him for it. I love that man.
What does it say?
Something like, Bree, will you marry me, love, Karl?
Oh, dear God.
I was trying to be romantic.
He is so funny. He is so funny. And yes, he is a dickhead, but it's chef's kiss. It's chef's kiss. And when he and Bree got together, I was like, this is the most ridiculous pairing we've ever seen. I would never have predicted it in a million years. But I was so here for it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how invested I got. Their chemistry was off the charts. Like the way that they were like a pure opposites attract kind of thing. The way they like played off each other was so funny, and their relationship was so good. And they were just about to be public. They were just about to go public and be together. And then he died. I was so upset when Karl died. Honestly, I can't even tell you. I was so upset when he died because I absolutely he was hilarious. And I know that they had the whole what if where, you know, Bree kind of pictured if she'd been with him and he would have, you know, cheated on her eventually. And yes, maybe he probably would have. He doesn't have the best track record. But you know what? She thought she could change that man. And we've all been there. And so I just thought to myself, maybe he would change for her. So foolish. But I thought it. I believed it. And I loved them together. I thought they were just great. And for me, he should have been who she ended up with in the end, because that would have been great. Oh, they shouldn't have killed him off. He was such a good character. Such a good character. But that is my personal ranking. I feel like a lot of you probably say Orson, and that's completely a valid choice. But I do want to hear your reasonings. So let me know down in the comments. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said, I think the next one we'll do will be Susan. And then it'll probably just be all of the love interests all together. Because, yeah, Gabby only has a couple, same with Lynette. And then Edie has a few as well. But, like, they'll all be included in the long ones. So, I don't know. Let me know if you do want to see the individual ones or if you're happy to just do Susan's ones. Because I think she has, like, 8 or 9 as well. And then just jump straight to ranking all 65 of them. So, yeah. I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.